Okay, so let's see. I had a mark on the tiv where I needed to start here today on page Kuf Yud Aleph, reading just the light print. Okay, so it starts here, Kuf Kof Vav. That's where I'm at right now. Kuf Kof Vav. He says, "The minute Yisod the bina nimshach hashefa the malchus the bina." So you now in the Yisod. We got shefa into the into Yisod, and now it's coming into the malchus of bina. Mashkashas, what Masha Kasav the malchus the bina. That phrase, Haina Tarasi is Yisod bina. Now over here he comes over to that shita that sounds to me like we saw in the Gerah. He says that here you're talking about the, and he says, Ataras Yisodi bebechinas shifuli me'ayim. Here he has one phrase. I guess he means the bottom part of the innards, so to speak. For a shefa shenimsa b'yisod, the ima yotze misham, and the shefa that comes from ima comes from the Ataras Yisod of ima, which is her malchus, or the malchus. He's going to have another phrase for this. Of the nimshach el malchus, the ima goes to the malchus of ima. So it goes to the tip of the Yisod, the Ima Nikras Tana. So it's called by this name, Tana. So when I first saw this, I thought, well, Tana, that's the name of, of the Tanaim. So I figured, well, Tana is because they're Mashpia Tov in their Mishnahs or in their Mishnayos. That's what I thought. So it says, the Ima Nikras Tana. So why is it called Tana? He said the fisha yesham shlosha milui ekya. Shehem ekya b'milui yudin, which is Kassah, and then I'll just skip it. He says in Kamag, and then the next one is Kanah. So you have all of those. You add up those numbers, what do you get? Gashach and Sitzaris and Shlosha Shehem Kassah Kamag Kanah. So if you add them all together, the Gematrias, Heim Olam Gematria Tana. So still, I am a little bit in wonder about what's going on with these ekyas. What exactly do they mean? I think the actually is lashon oros, but I don't really know for sure exactly what's going on with it. And that they accumulate in the Ataras Yisod, and there they're called Tana. Called Elo Nimsayim Ataras Yisod the Ima. V'chein Ataras Yisod the Ima Nikras Tana. So it says again. Al Shem Oser Shlosha Ekya Sheyeshba. So that's the reason why the Yisod is called the Tana, because it has these ekyas. And it's not to be the mashpia these ekyas. V'kol HaShefa Sheyeshba Chataras Yisod the Ima. So now let's talk about the shefa that's in that Tarashot of Ima. He says Nimshach bebechinas hachamisha chasadim she'aba no senes le'ima b'yisodo b'sod hazivuk. I'll read it again. So now we have the shefa b'ataras yisod. Now he just said, what's the shefa? He said it was these Kassah Kamag Kanah, which comes out to be the word Tana. So the nimshav, and where did it come from originally? It comes from the bechinas hachamisha chasadim, the chasadim she'aba nosein le'ima b'yisoda b'sod zivuk. So he puts this in her yisod. And from that Yisod, I don't know, he's talking about the Chasadim, the Shefa, goes into her Taras Yisod. So then he says, after it goes there, V'achakach, Hachamish Chasadim Nimshachim Yisod, the Ima, the Malchus, the Ima, so then they go from the Yisod, which is the Tana, until the Malchus. I think that's where I understand it. V'gam Ima Atzva Yeshba as Chelka Shehema Hachamish Gavuras. Now, Ima also, we had said that what are the five chasadim that are going to wind up in the Ataras Yisod of Ima? Now, he said, see what gets me about understanding this is at first he started talking about ekyas. And he said ekya is the number 455, which refers to the Ataras Yisod because of these three ekyas. Then he switches, and he says, now let's talk about the five chasadim that are in the Ataras Yisod. So Nimshachim Yisod the Ima, the Malchus the Ima. So now they're in the Malchus of Ima. And he said, let's go down to number Kuf Lamed Vav. V'kol Chamesh Gevurah Miskapsos B'Ataras Yisod the Ima. So now, according to what I'm reading here, is that you have the Tana in the Ataras Yisod, or the Ataras Yisod is called by the name Tana. And inside of that, you have Chasadim and Gevuros. One comes from Abba in Lashon Zivug, and the other one comes from Ima, that are naturally inside of Ima. So he says. So now he says Shataras Yisod the Ima Nikras Malchus Shubagufa. Now this sequence, I saw something like this. It's in somewhere between the 13th and the 17th shar over there in the Eitz Chaim. I saw some of this idea is that you have a Unzer Anpin, you have the Nukva the Zer Anpin. And then the Nukva the Zer Anpin is also male and female, and it gets carried out to a certain extent so that you have the Malchus here is the Malchus Begufa, which is the Ataras Yisod. In other words, that's where the Gaon said that the Malchus that we're really talking, the ultimate Malchus is not this. Or this is, it's another element. I don't know. It's another parts of altogether. So he said, and then the parts of Malchus the Klalos. So that's what he says. He says it right out. He says it's not the general Malchus. It's the Malchus of the Yisod. Okay, let's go on. Vihi Nikras Hodecho. Now this, going over here, gets into thin ice for me. So the Ataras Yisod, which is called Tana, is also called your Hod. Now what's that mean? Shechamesh Gevuros Yoredis Mehamadas. A Hod is Lashon Hod, like the Sphira. So Chamesh Gevuros Yordos Mehadas. So they come down out of Das. Mispashtos Bechamesh Sphiros Shehem Chesed Gevur Teferes Nesan Hod. They go to those 5 Sphiros. V'siyam is Pashtusam, and where do they stop spreading? They stop spreading Behodim. It's at the Hod. So he says, so therefore they're called Hodecho, because they collect Bekevin Shasiyam is Pashtus the Gevuros Ubahod. B'chach the Dechain Nikros call the Gevuros Yachtav Hodecho al Shem Ahod. So they're both called Hodecho. I'll name the Hod. So I mean, it sounds like it's a kolel. It receives. They say Rebbe Shimon is Hod Shabahod. I'm not sure what all of that means, but it's the side of Gevurah. So he said, "V'achar siyam is pashas of Gevuras Bahod." So now you see that the Gevuras have now spread into Hod. Then after that, miskapsos called the Gevuras B'ataras Yisod Shalah. It also goes, I guess, it goes into the Yisod, and it goes into the Ataras Yisod Shalah. Became Malchus Shehi Ataras Shabbat. So since the Malchus, which is this Atara, Mikabelas as a Gevuras Minahod Shasham Ku Siyam is Pashas a Gevuras, because that's where the Gevuras stop. I guess I'm thinking it's like it's a bundle. It's a bundle that's inside of this Hod, and then she takes the bundles. It goes into Yisod. It goes into the Ataras Yisod. The Ataras Yisod Nikras B'Shem Hodecha. So therefore, we see that it's called by that name. Shlosh Tevos Asher Tana Hodecha. So now we come up with this idea. There's a place where it says that you'll plate some of your Hod. The Hainu Asher, this word Asher. Let's have a look at the word Asher. He says Asher Tana Hodecha. The word Asher, Meramas the Yisod the Ima. It's really a hint at the Yisod of Ima. V'Tana B'Ramas, and the word Tana Ramas the Chamisha Chasadim Sheyesh B'Ataras Yisod the Ima. Now let me this a little bit hard for me. He says the word Asher is a reference to the name of Ima. He can spell that out. Then he comes over and he says V'Tana. The word Tana, Meremes the Chamisha Chasadim, Sheyesh B'Ataras Yisod the Ima. Now, I thought that the Tana word referred to the Ataras Yisod of Ima, which has, that's where I would understand it, which has within it 5 Chasadim. Chasadim that she got from Abba. V'Hodecha, Romes the Chamesh Gevuros. So that says the Mesh Gevuros. So does it tell you the Mesh Gevuros that are in the Yisod or the Ataras Yisod of Ima? Now you could see all of this in the word atah. So he says she'elu hashlosh tevos asher tana hodecha. The first letter is the word atah. Ramazos b'tevos atah. Now really what he's doing is going through the matbea bracha here, and he got to the second word, which is atah. Shazu tevos atah he benusach. So now we're at that place, and that's where we're going to stop right now. Today being the 28th. Okay, and this is the 29th of Sivan. Okay, all right, let's go over to the other book. All right.